Welcome to the presentation of the 2009 Star Wars Combined Targets and Objectives. On this screen, you see all targets and planning for the coming 12 months. If we start at this part, we'll see the targets of 2008 in green are the projects that we successfully implemented and released. We have raw material requirements, we have shields, we have power, we have the new privilege system, and we have also in orange some projects that have been slightly delayed. We have medical items, briefing masks, and briefing masks. For the first part of 2009, which is on top of the screen here, we have identified the following projects. First, a technical project aiming to rewrite the way we store and manage location in the Combine. This project is led by our Australian team, SIN, CAN, and BK. This project ought to be released in the coming weeks. In parallel to this project, we have a small feature aiming to reward new players to the game and to give them XP as they discover new features and experiment the game and how it works. As part of our plan to fix the economy, we plan to release in the coming months the feature allowing to merge different factions together. Once the projects about location and travel will be released, Inventory 2.0 will be released in its second stage. This will mean more filters, more features, and less bugs. Once everything will work on that part, we'll start a small project which is about recycling cities. By recycling, we mean removing empty cities from planets so that you can clean up your planet. For the second part of the year, we have identified several more projects which are still of two ways. We have economical projects, like the factions, the change of factions conditions, maybe a better interface to create new factions. We have technical projects, like the way we manage what we call actions into the game. I would remind you that actions are the term we use to design things like productions, mining, prospection, and so on. We also want to release a new system to manage the conversation of NPCs. We call that project NPC speech. It should allow players to encode their own speeches and design a conversation that they would like to see for their NPCs. It should also allow for more flexibility on our part so that we can provide a more interactive environment. The third part of this year will be in line with the rest, where we still have some projects dedicated to the economy, which will fix the economy through some tweak to existing population equation or to the tax system. We'll also probably introduce a new kind of galactic tax, which will affect all transactions, and possibly we'll introduce what we call a credit pouch, which will be the instantiation of money into the game, money as an item, credit as an item. Aside of the economical project, we have several projects that aim to introduce combat. This has been clearly identified. We have the second part of shields, which is about shield projection, thing that you will be able to protect your orbiting space station. We have a repair project. You cannot have damage without being able to repair what you suffered from. We have another technical project aiming to fix the way we manage weapons into the database and game engine as a whole. And then we have some features projects aiming to release escape pods and the ability to use them. You will be inside a ship. You will want to flee that ship. You will be able to use escape pods. We also release a project about armor items so that you can get some protections, which could be useful in the coming year. The final quarter of 2009, we see a few other projects still in line with combat. We want to provide movement to the existing creatures. This in order to reach, at the beginning of next year, a project really aiming to shoot at creatures and allow you to have really a lot of fun into this game by being able to train yourself to do the combat inside this universe by just starting with fighting creatures. That should be fun, but yet dangerous for some of you. The end of this year we also see some other projects related to combat, like the introduction of the munitions, but also some other projects that rather are more technical, like the introduction of web services that we really hope to see back by the end of this year. We'll try to work also on R&D in parallel. The work there is more functional than technical, so we can find the required resource to work on it. That would maybe not mean that R&D will be ready for this year, but that would at least mean that R&D is coming faster than expected. With all these projects in mind, you can see that for the beginning of next year we'll be able to work on shooting at creatures, and that combat for everything else is the next step. So combat is approaching. This time we really see combat at the end of the tunnel. If we look back at all these projects and try to get some kind of perspective, we have two paths on our development way. First, we have what we call the combat path or critical path, which are all the projects that we need to release in order to be able to support combat into this game. We have the location project, we have the inventory project, we have the atmosphere effects, we have the shields, we have escape pods, repair, and creatures. That will be the first step. The second part that we have identified for this year, the second axis of development, is the economical axis, the blue lines on the graphics, and they all gather the factions, features like faction merge, faction conditions, and the economical fixes that we plan to introduce, along with the wages of NPCs.